Earlier this week, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, confirmed the death of Abu Musab al-Banawi. Al-Banawi was the leader of the terrorist group Islamic State West African Province. Tonight, data and information consultant Babajide Ogunsowo is here to share insights about the outlook for national security in the last quarter of the year. Babajide, great to have you here.
Good evening, Amaji.
Great, so let's go right into it. Al-Banawi's death, what impact will that have and what implications on Nigeria's security?
So first, we grew up learning that when two elephants fight, it is
the ground suffers.
But that's not the full story. The full story is when two elephants die fighting, it's the butcher that smiles. Let's take a look at what really led, based on what experts believe, to al-Banawi's death. Top three reasons, if you take a look at it and if you want to understand it. The first is Islamic State West Africa is a terrorist organization that is different from Boko Haram. Two different leaders. They are terrorist organizations, but they are rival terrorist organizations. In recent times, these rival terrorist organizations that have been operating between Nigeria, Chad, and Cameroon have been involved in a lot of fights. The second reason is, in the last 6 months, the Nigerian military has reduced the area of influence of these terrorist organizations. Borno State has a land area of 34,000 square kilometers. In the last 6 months, the area that the terrorists operate, these two gangs operate, has been limited to less than 5,000 square kilometers. In other words, these rival terrorist organizations are now more in each other's face and they are rivals. This has now even made it more easier for the Nigerian military using its air might to clearly identify where they are and strike. In summary, we are looking at a possibility of al-Banawi's death either due to revenge attacks or the airstrike of the military. But the military has taken the right move by keeping us surprised and not saying too much. It's confidential information as to exactly what led to al-Banawi's death, but he is dead.
Yes, so let me just cut in here. I know that last week we were talking about defense budgets, and I know that more details have emerged, from the 2022 budget. Any surprises there concerning defense?
Good and bad news. The good news is, let's take a look at what the budget was last year compared to what it is this year, especially if you focus on that capital part, capital expenditure. The good news is capital expenditure in the 2022 budget compared to 2021 budget, we see an increase. So last year, 2021 budget, the capital expenditure for the defense was 121 billion naira. This year, it is 155 billion naira. Based on the next year's budget, 155 billion. This year's budget, 121 billion. But when compared to 2019, we see a weaker performance. So in 2019, the proposed capital budget for defense was 158 billion naira. The defense budget for 2022 is less than that. The reason why this is more important is 158 billion naira in 2019 was at the period when the official exchange rate was 305 naira. So that amount of money created more dollars to be able to purchase foreign military hardware. Now we are seeing a budget that is less in naira, yet the dollar has declined. So the
naira declined.
declined. So the amount of dollars available really to purchase military hardware is less.
Right, Babajide, thank you so much for explaining all of this tonight. I know that many people are worried about the Christmas celebrations coming up. We'll talk about that later.
We will, but in the final analysis, let's not forget, when your enemies are fighting, don't do anything.
That's pretty
Don't
interesting.
just interrupt them.
Pretty interesting. Thanks again for coming tonight.
Thank you,